All right. I guess it's my week. Actually, do you want to take this one?
Um, is it my turn?
I want it to be your turn so that I can host the next one, so that I can host the special.
What's special? What is this special that you keep talking about?
You guys keep talking about how you want to do a supernatural episode.
No, I explained this to you. It's not that we want to, it's because usually when you do something and then you want to talk about it on the podcast, it's like, oh yeah, I guess we're having this. Like whenever you talk about Doctor Who, we make the thing where it's like, oh, I guess this is a Doctor Who episode because that's
Oh,
mainly what we talk about.
except
Same thing with
I literally do want to
Supernatural.
spend a whole episode talking about supernatural.
We could do that as the regular podcast. It happens naturally.
Okay,
You bring it up, and
I
it's
still want to
something
host. I still want to host that one.
you can host this one and talk about Supernatural. I don't know
No,
what's
no,
so
no, no.
complicated
I
about it.
want to. No, I specifically want to save my feelings on supernatural until Quincy's here.
Oh, well, then I don't know why
And
you started the
since
podcast now.
no, because he said he's not going to be available until Monday or Sunday or Monday.
For like a dedicated thing, yeah. Because that's what you were talking about. You were trying to
Yeah,
get a dedicated podcast
yeah,
for the special
yes.
when you don't need to do that. And I thought that that was you being like, oh yeah, we can just, since I do want to talk about it, we can just push the podcast back to a day that everybody's free, and then we'll just do that.
Well, we still need something to record on or we still
Do
need
we?
something to release for Saturday.
We've missed a day already.
We've missed a couple days, but I don't like missing days. Like holidays are a legitimate reason,
I don't think,
but
I think the holiday's the only day we missed.
we missed.
Yeah, I think Thanksgiving is the only time that we missed one.
Technically, I mean, there was the episode when I was in California that came out late. I don't know if that counts.
Oh, yeah, I don't count that because it was still for that week. It just editing things because of internet and stuff just
Hmm.
didn't happen. So I the that episode still came out. It just came out, what was it, like Monday instead of Saturday?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can still record one,
I
just the
mean, all
two
right,
of
man.
us. And if
We can
Quincy
go for it.
drops by, he drops by. But this is the official first episode of season 2 because I negotiated the rights to get us
I feel
season
like
2.
season two should definitely have the intro that you're talking about
Yep. Yep.
in it.
And
So
it will.
I don't think it will.
It will.
I doubt it. Did you
Well,
get Quincy to already send a video?
no. I
Oh
don't need
well, see.
I don't need video of Quincy though.
What do you mean?
There's already video of Quincy online. There's video
There's
of
video of
you.
me
No,
online.
that you'll make me dig for, and I don't know how to find it.
It's
I've
not
already
even
gone
hard to
looking.
dig for. It's right there. Every time I pull up my channel, it's right there. I stare at it every time. It's right there, front and center on my channel.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to look for it again. And
And
uh,
I've told you this multiple times, but every time you're like, I don't see it. And I tell you, you're looking in the wrong place.
it's a different channel then, right? It's not Scorpion Kid One.
It's Scorpion Kid 1.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
You're just looking in the wrong place.
What is the wrong place?
If you think for 2 seconds, Derek, just
Your
I tell
homepage?
you, if you think for 2 seconds, Derek, if you're looking in the wrong place, where else could my channel be?
Twitch.
So have you looked on Twitch?
I haven't.
Maybe you should do that.
Is it on Twitch or are you fucking with me some more?
Maybe you
Oh my
should
god.
look.
You're doing that whole I'm Ed is smarter than Derek thing, and it's just I don't just speak to me in absolutes. I don't know where the fuck it is. Just I'm
It's
like
on Twitch, Derek. It's
okay.
literally on Twitch. You click on my Twitch channel. It's in home. There's like a whole series of me playing Shadow of the Colossus. My face is in it. There's that one. I think The Last Guardian also has my face in it. There was a whole era where I was just doing face cam on Twitch.
Cool. Then I will grab that then. You don't need to send me anything.
This
Yeah.
guy.
Like you love to do things that are like I Derek personally need you to just speak in absolutes with me. You might as well be giving me a fucking riddle when you're like, oh, it's
Apparently,
there, and I'm like,
because
I
you're
don't know
like,
where the fuck it
I'm
is.
like, it's there. You're like, oh, it's Scorpion Kid. It's not Scorpion Kid 1. It is. What are the only two places that have content that have Scorpion Kid 1 on it? YouTube and Twitch.
I do think that that's a little ridiculous though, because I'm on the Scorpion Kid 1 account constantly, and I don't think I've seen it before. But I guess
That's because
I'm not looking.
you get sent, you're usually on there when I'm live streaming, and I think that if a person is live streaming, then like, you click on the notification, it just pulls up the live stream. It doesn't go to their channel.
Yeah, that's likely. So, Ed,
Uh,
how you liking all the new Fortnite additions?
um, I like it. I like it a lot. Racing was cool. The rhythm game is fun when you're playing with your homies. Never put it on expert. That's all I'm saying. Don't put it on expert. I mean,
Yeah.
you're on a mouse and keyboard, so maybe you could do it on expert, but
Nope.
like as a
Nope.
controller player,
No, I'm
can't
I'm
do
I'm
it.
not on mouse and keyboard. I am on a controller. I'm on
Oh, well,
PC, but
yeah,
I
don't.
am. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't put it on expert. It's so bad.
Oh
And
wait,
but
you just blew my mind. I could be doing it on keyboard.
you could.
That'll
Well,
actually probably make it entirely easier. Fuck.
just don't put it on expert with a controller unless you have the capability of pressing the three buttons in succession pretty well. Because I tried it, and yeah, no. Granted, I tried it on the hardest like thing because the rhythm thingy it has like when you choose a song for all the instruments,
Hmm.
and I mean I guess your voice is an instrument, but each of the instruments has a difficulty level in terms of how much of that instrument is played in that song.
Yep.
So I did choose the song that had vocals all the way max, well, -1. So it was one away from being max on vocals.
Hmm.
And I put that on expert difficulty to try it. And yeah, maybe it probably wasn't the best. Maybe I should have eased myself into expert, like Quincy suggested, but I trial by fire. And it was hectic. It was very hectic. Lego Fortnite's cool. Um, yeah, Lego Fortnite's pretty cool. I like the building. I don't like the some of the pre-made buildings, but then again, I'm not super far in, so maybe that'll get better. But as it stands right now, I'd much rather build like from scratch as opposed to following a blueprint. The only blueprint that I've used that I actually like is the log cabin blueprint. It's nice little cozy log cabin. Looks nice, looks cute, you know. That rustic vibe, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of small, but combat's nice in there. Um, has survival elements that are pretty nice to keep track of. Like you got your temperature, you have your equipment for like actual armor. Well, not armor, but like accessory charms and stuff.
Hmm.
So basically resistance stuff. Um, yeah. Overall, the map is huge. As I don't know what freaking Quincy when he came back from his trip, well, from his weekend with his girlfriend. We hopped on Lego Fortnite for a little bit. It was just the world that he had created before he had left to his trip, and since he didn't bring his PlayStation, it was just kind of sitting there. So I hopped in on that, and I guess there's a thing of if you log in after the person, you don't spawn in together. So
Okay.
like if you're creating a world, so let's just say me and you were in a party on Lego Fortnite, and I started a world. If I started that world with you in the party, then we would spawn in relatively close to each other.
Okay.
But if I started my world, if I created a world and then you were like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna jump in and everything. It's a brand new world." then you would spawn somewhere completely random. And I think that's what happened with me, is because Quincy had already had that world, so he's where he's at. And me, since I'm a new person, just chose a random spawn point. So it spawned me possibly the worst distance away from Quincy. We are in between, like we are on two opposite sides of like a snow mountain.
Oh
And
wow.
it's so far away that when Quincy opens his map where he's at, he does not see my icon. And the host can see everybody's icon, but the other people can't see everybody's icon from what I
So
understand.
what about what about if you come back to Quincy's world now that you've both been playing for a little bit?
That
Will it
it,
still
it spawns you. I think it just still spawns you where your spawn point is. So whenever you enter that world for the first time, that is your starting spawn point.
gotcha?
So every time you die, you get sent there, and I assume every time you log in, unless you were um like somewhere else saved and whatnot. So if I traveled somewhere, um, then when I log back in, I'll be where I traveled to.
Hmm.
But let's say I died and I didn't respawn because it was like, all right, I'm getting off. When I log back in, I'll spawn at my starting spawn point.
All right.
Yeah, so that's the only tough thing. So basically, we have to start a new world if we want to be together. Um, Me and Quincy in there, because like it's either that or wait until he gets strong enough and enough like and further enough in the game to where he can trek through the ice mountain, or I can trek through the ice mountain. And that's pretty bad because there's cold and then there's freezing. Cold, you'll take a little bit of damage over time, pretty slowly. It's nothing too horrible. It's completely manageable if you don't have any equipment. It's just kind of an inconvenience. Freezing is, hey, you're going to die. You cannot outlive this.
Yeah.
So that's that's the not fun part. And then caves. I finally found caves in Quincy's world. I was trying to find caves in my world, but found caves in Quincy's world, and those are dangerous if you don't have any light source on you at all, which is what I didn't have. So there were just skeletons and random things attacking me left and right. I made it out miraculously, but it was really, really tough. But what about you? If you had a chance to try out any of the new Fortnite stuff?
I've tried a little bit of Lego. I don't. Maybe if I really get into it a little bit more, I will, enjoy it. But it didn't really seem like it was for me. But I think that was mostly because I'm not in the mood to be playing something like Minecraft. Like, if you sat
Hmm.
Minecraft in front of me, I probably wouldn't be having fun right now anyway. Um,
Yeah,
it's not. I've there have been entire parts of my life where I'm just like addicted to Minecraft. So it's not that I think that Lego Fortnite is bad. I'm just not in the mood for it right now. Um,
gotcha.
I didn't think I was in the mood for the rhythm game, but I've basically played that every day since it came out.
Yeah,
Um, I really wish there was a bigger selection of free songs.
yeah. That like the songs are cool. A lot of I'm not really a super huge music person for
I am.
like my like I love music. Music is a big part of my life,
Mhm.
but in terms of like interacting with a large variety of music, the only way I interact with music is really if I randomly hear it from something else.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
so yeah, so like if you guys are playing a song and whatnot, and I hear it and I like it, I'll be like, "What is that?" And then I'll most likely look into it, and then it'll become part of my life at that point.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have to be exposed to music in order to like hear different types because I don't follow any sort of like, oh, this person released this album, or hey, there's these bands. I've heard some music from bands, not knowing that they were bands,
Hmm.
because I don't know any names of bands or anything. But I'm pretty sure I've heard music from a lot of the bands that people know, and I
Hmm.
just didn't know it. Oh, that's my phone. Ooh, that's not on vibrate.
That's. I mean, I wouldn't say that what you're describing is anything out of the ordinary for normal people. Quincy and I are a little different because we both very much involve ourselves in music, and a little bit obsessively in a lot of cases. And we're both into very different kinds of music, Quincy and I. Um, but I think a lot of people it's discovering it through like I'm just gonna say something that I think is a good example for you, uh, um, like Into the Spider Verse. You know, you saw Into the Spider Verse and you're like, oh, let me check out that soundtrack, and so then you learn certain artists because of Spider
Yeah,
Verse and stuff like
yeah,
that.
because like obviously that stuff was made for that movie. So
Hmm.
like if I didn't see it, I most likely wouldn't have heard of it relatively, around its release,
Yeah.
effectively. So I wouldn't have known about it and wouldn't have even known where it came from until I actually looked into it. And so yeah, that's a pretty good example of how my interaction with music goes.
Yeah.
Because like I watched the movie and I was like, I love this soundtrack. I'm gonna need to get me more of that. And I proceeded to look up every single piece of music from that movie on Spotify and put it on my playlist.
I'm gonna say with that movie specifically, that is such a good soundtrack that it didn't really matter if A, that was your kind of music, B, if you liked that movie, or C, if you knew those artists. That I constantly hear people talk about that soundtrack. That is how almost perfect that soundtrack is. There's a lot of
It's
people.
really good.
There's a lot
It
of
just
people I
it kind
know.
of hits.
It hits amazing. It's great. Like, but there are people I know that are like, oh, you know, hip hop's not really my scene. You know, rap's not really my scene. But I really dug the Spider Verse soundtrack, and it's like it's because it really gels with what's going on. Like
Yeah,
What's Up Danger is such an amazing song, but then when you backdrop it against Miles finally getting his suit, it works so fucking well that it's gonna stay in your fucking head, even
yeah,
though they barely play that song. You get
yeah.
a
Because it
couple
was
of
like at
key.
the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's and that kind of attributes to what a lot of people say about like sound design in a lot of media,
Hmm.
specifically video games, since we're heavily into the video game industry.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people don't realize when they're just, going about their thing. But music is such a big part of how scenes play out and what you feel during certain moments and stuff. And I feel like Spider-Verse does that really well
Yeah.
because a lot of their music, like number in Into the Spider-Verse, it was like everything was like fresh and new. Like
Hmm.
the animation style, the it's a the type of comic book movie, how everything was done. And so everything's new, everything's like feeling amazing, everything's going off in your brain.
Hmm.
And then with across the Spider-Verse, it's it's like what type of movie you're getting. So when the music's happening, it just you can sort of realize like, oh, that goes really well because of like you now know you have an in already. So when certain music things are happening, you're like, oh yeah, I can feel this because like Miguel O'Hara's theme,
Yeah.
you feel it and it fits, especially when you're like looking at the character and everything and seeing his personality and whatnot. And I think the same thing with Prowler in the first one.
Yep. I was about to say that.
Yeah, like with Prowler in the first one, it fits so perfectly with how his character is portrayed when especially when you first hear it.
Yeah.
Like when you first hear it, when Prowler is like introduced and going in that action scene that's happening, you're like, oh, you're in it. You're in that action scene. You
Yeah.
feel it happening,
Well, and
and like everything just fit.
I think both of those themes specifically, part of the reason that part of what whatever it is that makes them hit so well is part of what makes them so memeable because they immediately ingrain themselves into your brain. You immediately know what
Yeah,
that sound means just from seeing the movie once, and it hits that whatever piece of serotonin you need in order for somebody to be like, I have a funny idea for a meme. Let me use the Miguel O'Hara thing. Let me use
yeah,
the Prowler theme, and it just works because, like you said, they hit right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because it just, and that's the same thing with the music in Across the Spider-Verse. It's like everything when it's played, it fits so well into whatever's going on and whatnot. And then it's just being able to feel that even outside of watching the movie and seeing the scenes, I think it resonates with people.
yeah.
Like that's what I think it does. The music in there really resonates with people because some of the scenes that happen you relate to in the on the emotional level of what it's trying to portray. Like whether it's intensity, you know, uh calming and all that, or just, maybe you're having some sort of wash of emotions, just everything's just kind of in there and there's music that goes with that in some instances.
What
So I
are
think it really sticks.
what are some other movies or TV shows or media, I guess, that really have that kind of soundtrack for you?
um there's funny enough, I don't know why, but Minecraft kind of just its
Really?
soundtrack gets me. It's weird because I'll be sitting there, I won't notice it. I'll be playing because I'll just like be in the mood to play Minecraft, and I know my nephew, he'll usually always just go ahead and play with me and
Hmm.
everything. So I'll play with him, and we're doing our thing. Usually I get on because I'll mess with it, be like, oh, we're gonna speed run it, or we're gonna do this, we're gonna go platinum it or something, and we'll just be going, and then all of a sudden I'll be into doing whatever I'm doing, and my brain stops. I guess it stops focusing because I turn into autopilot mode on whatever the task is, because it's
Right.
usually a long form task. And then I actually hear the music, and I'll stop, and I'll just be like, "Oh wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is great. I love this." And it's random. It's that when you're just outside and you hear the just nice little melodies, they're really calming,
Yeah.
especially if you're like building a house and something. And then when you're inside the caves, things get intense and you hear the long string of that little, I don't know what instrument it is that they're playing, but it's just that intense feeling of you're in a dark place and anything can happen. Similar to Miguel's theme in Spider-Verse. Just it's pretty simple. But there's that one.
So I don't personally agree with you on that one, but I think that there's a lot of people that, for some reason, the Minecraft music really resonates with them. Um,
Yeah, I think it also has to do with the fact that why a lot of people attach themselves to Minecraft.
yeah.
So when they hear the music, it just kind of elevates that more. Because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people attach themselves to Minecraft because it's just like a simple thing that you can do, and since it's so open and big, you can really do whatever.
Well, and
Like,
one of the things that I think would validate your point is that there are a lot of Minecraft content creators who absolutely adore the music in that game, like to
yeah.
an unhealthy amount.
Yeah, I know one game that also does that for me. Well, I guess two, but they were made by the same people. Is both Genshin and Honkai.
Yeah.
Like Genshin, the different continents, like music for their places.
Yeah.
It,
They're
it
really well
it's
done.
really nice. Yeah, combat music too. It hits. Honkai, I know there's one in particular that anybody that's played Honkai that has at least gotten to the first boss. outside of the tutorial when you're in
Mhm.
Bellabog. That that drop in there, it hit so hard that I went through and tried to search for if they give you that soundtrack because they give you a lot of music in that game
Yeah, they do.
for doing random things. And so I tried to look to see if I had somehow obtained it, whether it be like, oh yeah, you beat the boss, here's the soundtrack to that boss battle. But I couldn't find it. So now my only way that I listen to it is I go on YouTube and just search up that boss fight. Oh, oh, I know. I don't know why. I feel so stupid. I feel so dumb and I hate myself because I stand this game so hard.
All right. Is it a?
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I fucking knew what I was about to
Yeah,
ask.
I forgot. I am in love with that soundtrack. Like actually in love with that entire soundtrack. I had that thing on a loop for like a whole year after I beat it. It was like that game. It did something to me, man. It altered my brain chemistry because that I love, and I mean love that soundtrack. It's so good. It's so good. I don't care what anybody says. It's so good. Like when you're flying inside the scale, that one just mm, I literally when I was playing that game, as soon as I got my skill, because at first, I wasn't really noticing it. I was too busy fighting off stupid space whales. But
Not the
like
space
after
whales.
I space whales, hate them. They all need to die. Any sort of flying whale needs to die.
Damn, that's
Um,
that's some heavy prejudice, sir.
yeah, yeah, no, fuck them. Um, they but yeah, like noticed I was just sitting there. I think I went to go like do something really quick, so I was in the air and then I came back and obviously like it'll just loop because some video game soundtracks like it'll just loop after it's done, especially if it's like a proper song and not just like a melody. So you heavily notice the loop because a lot of the songs in there have lyrics.
Right.
So obviously you notice that loop and it's harder to, you know, disguise it. But I came back and I was flying to go do something and I was listening to it. I was like, hold on, this kind of, yeah, I like this. Hold on. And like that one, I discovered that. So now, usually, whenever I play that game, which hasn't been for a while, and which is sad because I go over to my sister's house and my Wii U is right there, and I can play it, and I tell myself to do it every time, but I don't. And it's frustrating, and I just need to bring it back home so I can experience the wonderfulness that is Xenoblade Chronicles X. Nintendo, make a Switch port, please. Um, but
This is only the first time he's ever asked for it.
yeah,
He
yeah,
doesn't really want it that much.
yeah, I've never asked for it every single year ever since the Switch came out. But yeah, every little anything that involves Nintendo, I'm like, please just announce the Switch port for Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I
But they let me down.
For whatever reason, I was looking through your Twitter the other day, and I saw that you had posted something
Yeah,
months
man.
ago about it.
Yeah,
You know, it
man.
was because there was a
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct coming out, and you're like,
Yep.
"Please,
Yep.
Nintendo."
Yep. Yep. That was me. I sure did. They disappointed
It's gonna be
yet
okay,
again.
dickhead.
It's not. It's just not. But yeah, I remember the one that really hooked me immediately in that game. There are these, what are they called? I forget what they're called, but they're basically the boss versions of the monsters in there. And so you'll see like the regular ones going around. I think everybody kind of experiences this when you're playing that game in particular. There's when you're going to New Los Angeles, which is the home base. Um, there's like these four-armed like big monkeys that are out there,
Damn, that sounds
and
hella racist.
it does every time I say monkey now, I immediately think racism. What does that really say about us? I don't know. um but yeah, and you'll see the little ones because they range in size because it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, there's a variety, some are big, some are small, and then there's obviously the big ones. I think they're just called primals. Are they just called I need to look it up now. I'm gonna look it up. But those, when you fight those boss ones, which are way bigger than the normal ones, way bigger than any of the biggest ones that you can see, there's like this song just plays, and the guitar riff happens, and it just hits, and it feels so intense for such a, like, it's a simple game because anybody that's played Xenoblade Chronicles either one, or I believe it's the same type of game mechanics, combat wise, throughout every single one. But if you played number one, I know for sure, and if you played X, the combat mechanics aren't super active and intense, but it can get like that because you do have to worry about, like, oh, I gotta press this at the right time to cause this thing to happen, and yada yada yada. But the song that plays when you're fighting them, it just makes it so much more intense, especially if you're like, if you're at a disadvantage in terms of like level, or even if you're right there at the level with that thing, it makes it just feel so just, oh, it's just so great. It's just, oh my god, Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Can I?
And the menu music. Ah.
Can I?
Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm
I
done.
mean,
I'm done.
you can. I'll let you talk about it.
No. I'm done. No.
You
I'm
got
done. I'm done.
excited though, and I just let you. But I wanna go back to Star Rail for just a second. Um, there's a song that you get right at the beginning of the game on your jukebox called "Take the Journey." I didn't want to leave the Express when I first got it. I'm just like, I just want to sit here and indulge in this fucking song. It's just a dude singing while like
It's
he's
just a
strumming
dude
a
singing.
guitar. Yeah, it's just a dude singing. But like it's a really just like almost hypnotic song. It's only like a minute long. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um and so whenever I get back onto the Express, that is the song that's playing. But like fuck, I was absolutely addicted to that song.
Yeah. It happens. Like, they're just so good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. They're called tyrants. Tyrants. Just, I need you, just to, with anybody listening, just look up Xenoblade Chronicles X Tyrant music.
Okay.
Just listen to it, and it just, I just need Nintendo, give me a Switch port, please.
He's
You
not
can
asking for
have
too
my money.
much.
I'm not. It just put it on the Switch. I don't care. It just, anything. Give me something. Every time they announce some Xenoblade, I'll see Xenoblade, and every time I'm disappointed because it's a sequel. It's never X. Okay, it's never X, and we're not getting X2, even though that game could heavily benefit from a sequel right now. But I'm just, I don't know, man. Nintendo hates me personally.
It's only you. You're the only
Only
one that
me.
cares about this game. It's only
Yes,
you.
yes. I
Forget the
basically
fact that
am.
forget the fact that those photoshops exist on the internet. You're the only one that
I'm the
cares.
only one. Those photoshops are for me and me alone. Nobody
um
else has done them. No, I'm sad.
so another soundtrack for me that is that's like really like resonates with me. I mean, not me personally, but like really makes the movie that it's from is the first Black Panther movie. And
Oh yeah.
I got really lucky. So Cinemark, the movie theater company, has
Mhm.
really weird, really specific sales that they do
Random, but okay.
on their stuff. So like if you go to the first it's like the first showing of the movie that is not the midnight premiere, but like the 8 a.m. or whatever,
Uh,
you all of a sudden the ticket prices will be really fucking low because you're not in prime time. Also,
oh yeah, true. That makes sense.
because it's the first day, they also put out another sale right there. Um and they did a couple of other things too, and like they dropped all the ticket prices for that showing
Hmm.
down. And so my ex and I went and saw it, and because of how cheap the tickets were, because I think the tickets were like $1 a piece. Um and I'm like, well, shit. All right, if it's gonna be this low, let's look at seeing getting if we can get D box, which is where the seats move and rumble and everything, right? We got those as well, and it cost $20 for the two of us to do D box. Normally, it's like $30 a person, but we did it, and it was $20, and we were like, oh, this is perfect. This is
That's nice. That's clean.
And so we saw a movie that, first of all, it is depending on the day, it is either my first or my second favorite Marvel movie. So there's that. On top
Your
of that,
second, it better interchange between the two Black Panther movies. That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, the races are
stop,
gonna go
stop with the
crazy.
stop with the racism narrative. Um, no, it's either Black Panther or Iron Man 1.
Oh, so the movie about the white man or the movie about the black man? I'm kidding.
I mean,
Iron Man one's pretty good.
it's not even the only one about a black man. Well, maybe it is the only one about a black man. Um,
I mean, about a black man, yeah. Movie wise, I mean, I guess you
in
can say Captain
yeah,
America and the Winter Soldier is basically about a black man.
yeah. Well, yeah, movie wise, yeah. Um, I mean, technically, Marvel's has a black woman, but there's also three women for that one.
Yeah, all of
Um,
varying races and
all of varying
backgrounds.
races. Yeah. Damn, it's a damn shame that it took this long for Monica Rambeau to get her flowers, but whatever.
It is that on Disney Plus yet?
No, because it's still in
Mm.
theaters.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
it's been forever, but
no,
then
it was
again,
the end of November or middle of
okay, never
November.
mind. Yeah, never mind.
Um,
We're middle of December. It takes a while for movies to leave, especially if they're big movies.
yeah, like the Disney movie Wish came out around the same time, and that's also not on Disney Plus yet.
Dang,
Um,
I hear people hate that movie.
yeah, I'm really interested to see it because I somehow doubt that it sucks nearly as bad as people are saying.
I
People
think
are
people are attaching it to the whole thing of like, oh, the Disney villain and it doesn't feel villainy enough, and the song that is accompanied with it, because that's all I see about it in terms of like the hate. It really just comes down to them talking about the Disney villain and the music behind the Disney villain, and they're like, oh, Disney fell off so hard. Like villain songs used to be like so intense and so good, but now they're this.
well, I
It's kind
mean,
of like chipper and happy.
we'll see when you and I see that movie, or if you don't want to, just me. Because there's a lot of
You
people
gonna
right
take me
now.
to a movie?
No, I meant the two of us will watch. The two of us will
Oh,
use Disney Plus.
oh, oh, oh. I Nah, that's fine. No,
I mean, you already
I'm
know
not
my
crying.
you already know my plan to make you watch a movie. We've already been through this.
A movie? Oh, just walk me in with your on
Big
what you call it.
camera. Make sure that it's fucking Knights of the Zodiac. Oh, isn't that on Netflix finally?
I think that's on Netflix. Yeah, I think
Ah,
I
fuck.
saw.
I need
Yeah.
to get Netflix again.
It has to be Saint Seiya. If I am not in a movie theater on your phone watching Saint Seiya, then this friendship has failed.
But we'll see. There's a lot of people who really want Disney to fail right now. There's a lot of people who are like, Disney hasn't been good in the last 10 years, and Disney's gonna fail, and Disney's bankrupt." And it's like, okay, yes, their numbers are not great right
Yes,
now, but like, one, everybody's forgetting that like Frozen was in the last 15 years.
it sure
Um,
was.
uh, what was it? Seeing Red. That movie was a hit, and that's like a year old at this point. I get it that it's Pixar, it's not technically Disney, but still,
Yeah.
um, there's a lot of that. Like even movies like Luca. Luca, I haven't heard that it was it was bad, it was atrocious. It was just a lot of people I hear from, oh, it's not my style. I wasn't really
Yeah.
interested in it, and or I saw it, it was good, but it wasn't my kind of movie. All of that, those are I absolutely respect. I literally heard somebody trashing, and this goes to something you and Quincy talked about a lot in the early days of the podcast. Um, I was talking to somebody about how I was, very curious about Wish, and there was somebody who was shitting on it behind us. And they're like, "God, you shouldn't see that movie." And I'm like, "Okay, well, why not? What's so bad about it?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I hear a bunch of bad reviews, and the
The
trailer
age
looks
is the tale is old as time.
right." And it's like I've seen the same bad reviews, and you know, and to be fair, we the three of us all do it. We all go, "Oh, I heard that movie was bad." You just did it with Wish.
Yeah, yeah,
But you also didn't actively tell me, "Oh, don't watch it because it's bad." Oh,
yeah.
why is it
Because
bad?
like,
I saw it on YouTube. Like,
yeah, it's not. It was like I heard it's bad. Like, and I think, and I like you just said, we've brought it up and talked about it early on the podcast before. But
yeah,
it comes down to the difference between acknowledging that you heard an opinion about something,
hmm
whether it be positive or negative, and then using that to just form your opinion without any other context. You're just like, I heard it was bad or I heard it was good. And
yeah.
then going like, oh my gosh, yeah, you need to like play this or see this or listen to this because oh my gosh, it's so great. Or no, don't do it because oh, I heard it's so bad. It's like
Yeah.
in your case would like you're hearing about it but you're curious as to why that is. So like you're going to watch it and see it for yourself and be like inform your opinion, whether it
Yep.
be okay, yeah, I can see why this people would be like this movie is really bad and I probably shouldn't have seen it. Or you might be like, "Oh, well, I can see some moments in there where people were like, yeah, this is or bad, but I still enjoyed my time."
There was on the episode of the Gotcha Gang that we did on my channel for Disney. Um, like we talked about, Quincy liked Incredibles 2, correct? If I remember correctly.
I believe so. I
And
can't remember.
I brought up that I I heard it was bad. I heard from multiple people that it was bad. Um,
Yeah.
but I also explained that I'm never gonna watch that movie. That movie
Yeah,
did
you're not
not
interested
seem
in it. Yeah.
yeah, at all. And this person that was talking about Wish, they admitted that they saw the trailer and they didn't have any interest. But at the same time, and that's okay. You could say, "Oh, I have no interest," and I heard it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like Ed was saying, do not take their opinion and use it as your own, because there's a lot of that. There's like, "Oh, it's bad because
Yeah.
I heard." It's like,
Yeah,
fuck
like
that.
if you saw the trailer, that is completely valid for you to put your like form your opinion on
hmm
just seeing a
hmm
trailer because that's what a trailer is meant to do.
Right.
It's meant to get you to try and watch the movie. So if you didn't resonate with the trailer to be like I want to go watch that movie, that's completely fine. That makes perfect sense. Your opinion is completely valid because the trailer failed to do what it did on you because it just doesn't seem like something you would want to go do. Like, and that's completely fine. But for you to not have any context at all, because that's the key thing is the no context, just hearing, just going off of hearsay and completely forming your entire opinion around the hearsay with no other context. You didn't hear any points about why the person that you heard it from or wherever you heard it from, why they formed that opinion. You just heard their opinion and went, "Yep, that's mine now."
Yeah. I mean, and there's also a lot of There's a lot of this going on in both the Disney community and the Doctor Who community right now, where
Ah, Doctor Who.
there's a lot of people who are going, it's it's a failure right now. It's not doing well. It's not getting good numbers. The ratings are down. And it's like, okay, well, where are your facts to back it up? In the case of Disney, I've the numbers are public and we've seen them. Um,
Yeah,
and we know that over the past couple months, the months over the last couple years, Disney Plus numbers have dwindled. Um, Park numbers have gone up, but movie theaters have gone down. So if you want to say, Disney numbers have gone down, I 100% agree. It's unfortunate in my opinion, but yes, the numbers are there. I'm not seeing that on YouTube. A lot of people are just like, the numbers are down. Okay, well, show me your proof, because I know it's true, but do you know it's true,
yeah,
or do you just believe it because you heard
yeah,
another
and
YouTuber say that?
yeah, and with numbers and stuff, it's like it's completely valid because with that, it's in a weird place because one, we don't know how like sometimes we don't know how Disney feels about those numbers because we
Hmm.
don't know what their bottom line is,
Yeah,
what their projections are and stuff. So it's objective and subjective at the same time because yes,
yeah,
objectively their numbers are going down.
yeah.
So anybody looking at that would be like, "Oh yeah, they're doing bad now
So
because their numbers are going down."
I will
So you can
say
form that opinion and be like, "It's bad."
I will say, while what you're saying is absolutely valid, in the specific case of Disney, we have access to shareholder meetings,
Well,
and
yeah, 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 yeah,
they are absolutely being like, yeah, we're not making as much
yeah,
as we want,
yeah,
but that's a little bit different. In the
yeah.
case
But
of
in
in
the
the
general
case
case,
well, like in the case of Doctor Who, there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, ratings are down because." Okay, well, what makes you say ratings are down? Well, I'm seeing on YouTube a lot of people are saying negative things, and so that's gonna affect the ratings for the second or third episode. Okay, but that's we haven't seen the concrete
yeah,
numbers from Disney Plus to say, "Oh, this episode got this many views," or
and that,
even
yeah,
the
and
cable
that's one of
views.
the weird things because like a lot of people forget that a lot of the times the negative things are the loudest, but they might also be the smallest
Well,
because it's a lot. So in some cases, it's the vocal majority versus like what's actually happening. And I feel like a lot of people confuse that with concrete evidence because in simple terms, a person makes a YouTube video or whatever, right?
mhm.
You don't hear a lot about when a YouTuber gets a lot of positive comments,
Yeah,
but a lot of the times you do hear as soon as like some negative comments happen.
that's true.
So it's like in terms of Doctor Who, it's like, oh, these like I've seen on YouTube that people are saying that they don't like it or whatever, or this yada yada with this certain thing, blah 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 blah. That could honestly just be the vocal majority versus the mass, like the entire community. Because if
Yeah.
like it could just be like five people are going like, and these are really just exaggerated numbers. Like five people are just being like, I really don't like this, and they're the ones talking about it and everything. But everybody that enjoys it, they're just going about their.
Yeah. Um, Something that I thought you were about to mention though was sometimes when there's negativity, and I'm going to use Doctor Who as an example again. Sometimes when there's negativity, it actually can drive sales because sometimes
Yeah,
people get so curious about it. And
yeah, yeah.
one of the things that I can use to back that up is when I got into Jodie Whittaker's era of Doctor Who, and I wanted to collect it all physically. Um, Season 2 has a bunch of controversial episodes that really change the lore. And season 2 is the one that if that A, you're going to have a little bit of a harder time finding it even on Amazon. And when you can find it, it's marked up because so many people were trying to get their hands on it. so that they could either make content on off of it or just have it in case it got retconned, or people want that kind of shit. They want the bad stuff, quote unquote. Especially the controversial stuff. It doesn't necessarily need to be these big things. All this shit could have been erased,
Yeah.
retconned or whatnot. It doesn't matter. There's some juicy drama behind it. Let's get our hands on it for whatever reason. And
Hmm.
now that season specifically, it's easier to find it digitally or just watch it on Max than to buy it physically because of
Yeah.
that. As a result, I don't own it because it was like $100 on Amazon. I'm like, fuck, I don't. The other seasons were 13. Why would I pay 100 for this? So
Now, why would I? These prices are too damn high.
fuck, that's an old meme.
That is an old one. Gotta keep them hip and happening. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking meme on a presidential candidate that isn't even around anymore, as far as I know. He's definitely not running.
Yep. Gotta keep it. Gotta keep it relevant. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these vintage memes, they just weren't done justice in their era,
In their time.
in their time. Back in my day,
um,
all I'm saying, back in my day.
have you have you been watching anything at all?
Yes, actually,
Oh,
I've
cool.
watched. Yeah, I watched Devil is a Part-Timer season 2. I watched all of it
Oh,
last night. Yeah,
is
I
is
did
that
that.
okay? So I'm gonna ask because I don't know. Did they add to it, or are there only like 13 episodes to it?
No, there's only 13 episodes.
Okay,
They
okay. So
just
we can
yeah.
so we can talk about this because I've seen all 13 of those
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I was thinking about as I was watching it. Because one, I was trying to find, because there's actually like a couple new, well, new things video game wise and new things anime wise that I
Hmm.
was doing. And while I was playing the video game thing, I wanted something to watch. So I was like, you know what? Like something simple, something I didn't really have to pay too much attention to.
Yeah, and that definitely
And
is that.
yeah, so I was like, all right, cool. This is also in English, which means I don't have to worry about reading subtitles. So here I go. And I remembered you talking about it on the podcast one episode, and I was like, you know what? I understand where he's coming from about the baby's voice being annoying. I can totally see that because it for me it wasn't super duper annoying to the point where oh my gosh, can she shut up already? It was like okay, it was kind of it's cute for some interactions, but every single time she talks, I don't need the like baby speak basically, you know.
Yeah,
And it didn't get super duper annoying, but it was like I kind of was glad that she had less and less lines because she got turned into the sword.
yeah.
But
That that kind of threw me for a loop.
yeah, but overall, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I'm I should have probably watched season 1 over again just to get a nice little recap
Oh,
because some stuff I couldn't remember all the details because I watched Devil as a Part-Timer season 1 like way back when it first came out. And I'm pretty sure they did a recap, like they were doing a recap in maybe like the first episode of season 2, but I skipped it because I was like, I'm just here to watch the anime.
yeah,
And it was so I was sometimes confused and I just kind of had to go, okay, because I didn't know what was actually going on, so I just had to believe whatever they were saying.
yeah.
But
I intentionally started it over before season 2 came out. So
yeah, I should have done that to get more thing, and I had no reason not to because, like I said, I was trying to have something in the background. So like, I could have totally just turned on season 1 because I wound up watching that, and I wound up watching season 2 of Konosuba. So
not nearly as good as season 1, right?
not as good. I didn't get all the way through it, but definitely not as good as season 1.
Yeah. I will say
But yeah,
the first like episode or two is really oh, okay. Some of season 2 of Konosuba is really really funny. The fact that they like darkness has to leave
yeah,
is that's great, and you just get these like hints that something is happening to her, and they've just turned her into a
yeah,
princess. Like,
yeah. The one that it was when she was undressing. I think it was so they can turn her into a princess.
mhm.
And she's just like, "No, stop! What are you doing?" Beans, and it cuts to like her armor's off and her clothes are like strewn everywhere. And I think before that, like the main character, I think what is his name, Kazuma or something like
Yeah,
that.
Cosmo.
Yeah, he's just like, ah, no, you can only imagine what darkness is going through and whatnot. And
Yep.
and with that context, because you do see the like king or whatever, he's eyeballing Darkness's breasts.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense. And it cuts to that, and I'm like, ah, geez, and her being a princess. And I'm like, oh, yeah, got a nice little laugh out of me.
the the first episode of season 2 when Aqua is trying goes to the prison, he's like, how am I supposed to reach it though? And she goes, oh, and she walks up to the guards and she's like, can you give this to
Oh
him?
yeah, yeah,
Fucking, she's so stupid. I love Aqua. There's a lot of people who hate her as a character because she's so ditzy, but like it's just classic humor in my opinion. It's just good old fashioned classic
yeah.
humor.
I can see how she would be a lot because when I first watched season one, I was thinking to myself, wow, she's kind of like annoying and stuff. But then she grew on me, and now I just find her hilarious because she's like so incompetent and just it's just like, wow, you're a god. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh man. All right, so let's go back to Devil as a Part Timer season 2. Um,
Yeah,
did
I
did
a
you
lot of
think?
it
Oh,
happening. No, go ahead.
did you think that the ending was a little abrupt?
Yeah, I did. Because, like, I guess they were using it as a setup for, like, a season three or whatever, but
That still hasn't
it did
happened.
feel. Yeah, it still hasn't happened, but it did seem really abrupt. It seemed like a lot of stuff was trying to go down right then and there.
Right.
And it seemed like it was more of a finale versus a setup, but then the ending of it is heavily a setup, not part of like a, oh yeah, we did it and this is our life now.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed more like a whatever we have to prepare for what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And as a result, it kind of makes the entire season feel like it was a setup for something. And
Yeah,
why would you do that if we don't know for sure that we're getting a season 3. We didn't even know if we're getting a season 2.
I didn't know that we were getting a season two until like it had got announced, and I was like, oh shit, this anime is getting a season two. But it yeah, because the whole season it is like a you can see it as obviously your little slice of life kind of like independent adventures, but they do connect. Like
Mhm.
it's not like anything outrageous. Like, oh yeah, we're doing this, and there's no connectivity at all between this instance and the next instance. It all does flow, but
It
it's like
it's super
the
obvious where the 3 books that this season is based on. You can see where those 3 books fit in the season, whereas season 1 it's like, "Oh, I can't tell that these 4 episodes or whatever are one book." Whereas this one it's like, "Oh, they're all at the beach now. This is clearly a book."
yeah, because like the whole what was that? The beach thing was like 2 or 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
And like the overall story that's happening for the season, it's a heavy setup. Like there is no conclusion because they're they're getting all the pieces and everything, and they haven't got all the pieces. So like you have this setup, but yet for the final like 2 episodes, you play it out to be a finale of like the show, but and you throw this big thing at the end, and then it's like, oh, so what do we do now?
Yeah, exactly. Now what?
Yeah, and you just have to wait because like what you call it, it it doesn't. I feel like they heavily. I don't know if there was just like a thing that was going on like behind the scenes that they had to do it like that, but
I think it's more the source material that they had ends at a very specific part, and rather than either truncate the source material that they had, which would have I think been acceptable in this case, so that you could get to something big, or even do a season 2 with a season 3 guaranteed. They just went with what they had. I don't know that it quite works. Like, some
it
of it's
doesn't work
good.
fully. It's fun. It's just over as an overall thing. It doesn't. It's not cohesive.
No.
It's not cohesive enough. Like all the parts are there. Like it's planning versus execution. Like all the parts
Yes.
are there. They all work in theory, but the way that they executed it, just that ending kind of throws everything off.
Yeah. Yeah. I okay. So I know some details about some stuff coming up. Remind me exactly how the ending is so that I don't say something that's a spoiler.
The ending was basically like the big thing was Gabriel, because obviously Gabriel came down because he was trying to get the daughter and the sword.
Right.
Um, and then like that whole thing happens and whatnot, and then Gabriel doesn't come back until 3 episodes or whatever.
Right.
And he's like, he talks to Lucifer. He's like, oh hey, yeah, what's going on? I need like all the information on the Demon King and everything. Is we gotta try and stop him for the good of heaven because heaven's falling apart. Um, and then it's like, oh yeah, the hero's dad is alive, which was like her whole reason for trying to kill the Devil King was because like whatever he did
Right.
in their world, because she thought her dad died. So, and then it's like, oh, speaking of parents, hey, your mom. And I was like, what? I don't know my mom. It's like, oh well, this is your mom. Layla, she's your mom. And it's like, oh, but I've never met her. Blah blah blah. And then the human girl, she's like unconscious because this magical wave from the TVs like knocked her out. And then the hero's mom, I think her name's Amelia. Amelia's mom
Yeah.
like helps her, and they're trying to stop Gabriel. And
Okay.
Gabriel tells her, is like, oh hey, your dad's alive, and she's like freaking out, and he's trying to use that to like do whatever it is Gabriel does. I don't know. Gabriel, he's a he's definitely an interesting type of dude, and I say that in the lowest of
Lucius.
terms.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
he's like there was a point where I was thinking when they were getting to the fight with him, I'm like, this is where this season's going, and then he just kind of like scurries off without a real fight, and you're like,
Yeah,
damn,
he's
damn,
like,
that was disappointing.
yeah, because like when he first shows up, he's like, oh yeah, Devil King. Like, even if you were at full power, I'd be able to stop you and everything. And then that basically happens at the end. He gets to full power, and Gabriel's kind of waxing him, and it's like, okay, this fight is happening. And then his, Mao's, I forgot his attendant's name. I always forget it, but
um,
the one that's always worried about money.
yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah,
Yeah, but they're there. They're all at full power. They're fighting and everything. and it's kind of just like a quick thing. Amelia comes, she helps stop him and everything. And it's like, oh, I thought that you would have been dealing with your existential crisis for a little bit longer, but whatever. And they like fight, and then Layla, well, the human girl, I think her name's like Chio or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Chi something Chi.
Chie.
We're gonna call her Chie. Yeah, Chie comes in, and because she has like Lila's powers, because
Because of
stuff.
reasons.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's Layla's power and everything. We have to go. And so Gabriel and the other angel dude that was there, they like leave and they're like, oh, you don't know what you've done. Like, is it worth it? Blah 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 blah. And then they're just kind of gone. And then Chie like shoots an arrow into the sky and changes everything back to normal. And Bob's your uncle.
So what happens in the hospital at the end? I guess that's the main thing that I was asking about.
The hospital at the end. Well, I, all I think it was like Layla was in there, and like I can't remember much of it. Now I gotta
Uh,
go back and
okay,
watch
then
this episode.
I'm gonna risk spoiling something. Then I'm gonna do it anyway because I think you know 99% of the details at this point. Um, did they reveal in the very end that Layla is the one that trained Mao?
Oh, that was heavily like
Implied.
implied from the beginning,
Okay.
and the ending just like solidified it for anybody not that was too dumb to like see that, because
Right.
he talked about it like ever since the beginning. He was like, oh yeah, because they ask him, it's like, why did you bring in your daughter and everything, and like, why did you feel responsible? Like, we don't even know where she's from, blah blah blah. He gives the backstory. He was like, oh yeah, there was this angel chick, and like it clearly looks like Layla. Like, it's
Yeah.
because you see Layla first. It's not
Right.
like you see. It's not like, yeah. It's not like you see his like flashback, and then you see Layla and be like, "Oh my gosh, that's the same chick from the flashbacks." Like, no, you see Layla first, and then his flashback happens, and you're like, "Oh, so that's Layla." So Layla's the one that took you in. So like, all of this is
I
okay.
think
So this is
I
why.
I think that's one of the reasons that ending was so disappointing to me because it's she basically it's heavily implied through the entire season. She basically confirms it there at the end. Then she leaves, and then all of a sudden, all the characters come together for one last thing, and then they're like, "We need to go now." And it's like, what if this was supposed to be some big reveal? It's not because we saw it coming all
Yeah,
season, and then like you go from that to let's get together. It's like, what are we getting together for though? This is not really like I'm not like pumped to get to another season. This just
yeah.
kind of I don't
If
know.
you're here for if you're here for like the intensity of like the B story, or I guess which is kind of the A story, but the way that the anime works, it's heavily more slice of life than it is like the actual inner goings on of like
Yeah,
the demons versus the humans and trying to get back to their world and whatnot.
yeah.
So, you know, there's I don't care about that plot really. I'm here for the funny slice of life stuff at this point.
And
Cause
season two kind of doesn't do it very well either.
yeah, like, oh yeah, some people are coming through the gates, like Gabriel comes through, like that would work and make it be like, oh yeah, okay, this is a thing that's happening. This could be a big problem because more people are coming through the gates that are from the other world, and that could be very dangerous because like Mao and everybody, they're not really at their full power, especially Mao, because he's like, I have to feed off of negative energy in order to transform or whatnot because they're demons. It's either that or like magical power in general. And since you're in the human world, there's no real magical power floating around. So he has to rely on negative emotions. So he's at a disadvantage. So, yes, you're following his story. And if people are coming through the gate, those people all have power. because like if you're a regular demon, you're just a regular demon doing regular demon things if you come into the world. If you're an angel, you have heaven's power because that's everywhere. And the only humans that are really coming through are people that already have some sort of access to power. Like Amelia, she's the whole hero. She can just access that shit. So they try to give you that and it could be cool, but it's heavily downplayed to the point where it doesn't matter. It's heavily just a slice of life anime.
Yeah.
So like if you're there for the what might happen to the Demon King, nothing's gonna happen to the Demon King. All right, he's gonna work at McDonald's for.
By the way, can we appreciate that McDonald's actually incorporated McDonald's when they did their whole like as seen on TV thing?
Oh yeah.
Like, they're like, we know what it is. We know what it is. Oh, I love the one of the good things about season two is the evil chicken selling dude who
Oh
he
yeah.
becomes overweight and in love with
He, the
the
manager
the
at
manager.
fucking yeah.
Like I did get a couple good chuckles out of that shit. Like you thought it was gonna be some super evil scheme, and it's just like no, it's really not.
No, he's in love. He's in love.
Yeah.
But I had a good time with it. Like
Oh no,
I had a
yeah.
good time.
For
It's
as
just a lot of elements were just not executed as well as I think they hoped it would be executed.
yeah, yeah, and I mean we're talking about it. I think one of the bigger problems though is that a lot of people didn't finish season two because it was not at all what they were expecting from a season two.
Yeah, which is
Um,
fair.
yeah, no, it really is. I mean, to be fair, it was also like 6 years between season one and season two, so there's a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people who had changed as people, and like
Yeah.
I I knew somebody who was like heavily hyping it up, and I remember thinking like, oh, it was a content creator, and I'm like, you're not really, you don't strike me as this kind of person, but I also didn't know their content when Devil is a Part Timer season one was coming out, and so they were
Yeah.
hyping it up, and then they basically didn't talk about it after episode one came out because they're like, yeah, I'm not the same person I was,
I'm just not them anymore.
and so like I didn't really I didn't enjoy it, but I don't think it was for me either, and it's like yeah, that's fair.
Huh. I've lost my phone.
Uh oh,
And
no,
it's on like vibrate. Oh, I found it.
like you couldn't have gone far. It went off during the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know where it went to, bro.
Um, so is that all you've been watching?
Yeah, Devil's a part timer. I watched Konosuba. I need to finish Spy Family. Um, and I need to finish Doctor Stone's newest season.
Mm.
The only thing that I have watched that I haven't talked about was Jobless Reincarnation.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I
I
didn't talk about
don't
that
want you to
because you
spoil for
haven't.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because you haven't seen anything, so I can't like talk about it without spoiling anything.
and I do feel like a dick because a lot of the times I tell you like, okay, go ahead and spoil it for me because it's been so many years since it came out. It's just not fair. But in that case, that is my rainy day anime. I'm saving it because I know I'm gonna like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Um,
And then I've already talked about how I watched Invincible season two, the episodes that are out anyway. And I've rewatched at this point. I've rewatched season one and the parts that are in season two. I've rewatched that like 4 times now,
why?
all over the weekend. I don't know. I know the first time I watched it when I went through was because I was like, oh yeah, season two's out. It's been like a couple of weeks, so there's like a decent amount of episodes that are out. Let me watch it because Quincy has it on his PlayStation. So let me watch it and be caught up. And that's when I can watch it because like I'm just chilling at home when Quincy's at work, so I'll just watch it while he's at work, and bada boom, bada bing. Then he was just kind of gone because he was hanging out with his girlfriend over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and my brain was like, "There's nothing we really want to watch," and I get into this weird space in my brain where I understand that there is a task that I can easily complete and it does not cost a lot of energy, but my brain just won't let me do it because I have access to some streaming services that Quincy doesn't have access to. So all I have to do is just switch over to the other PlayStation and then
Right.
I can just watch that thing. But I was already out in the front, so I was on his PlayStation. So my brain just went, all you have access to is everything that's on this PlayStation, which game wise, it's only really the free stuff that we both own.
Right.
And luckily, he had like Honkai on there and Fortnite. So I was able to still do that. Even though the other side of my brain was like, hey, you do know that your PlayStation is like just behind the wall right there. Literally go into the room and play it and watch whatever you want to watch. But my brain just stuck me into, nah, we're here. This is where we're at. We have to only use this PlayStation until we have a reason to go into that room and get on our PlayStation,
I
which
will.
we don't because Honkai's right here.
I'll one up that. You remember how I was talking about? I buy Doctor Who on physical media.
Yeah.
Um, there are times where I'm in the same room and I'm like, "Fuck! I finished everything that's on that disc. I don't feel like changing the disc."
Yeah,
I
no, the
just
same thing. Yeah, because it happened just like that. Because I don't know why, but I was like, you know what? Why don't I just bring my PlayStation out and just put it in the front with Quincy's PlayStation while he's gone, and I can swap whenever I want to. And it's like right there. I sat on Quincy's PlayStation doing the same thing that I could have just did on mine, because all I did was I got on Fortnite and then I got on Honkai, and which is dumb because I played Fortnite in my room. So I was on my PlayStation. But then I went out into the front and got on his PlayStation. I think I did click on Invincible like season 1 over again. And cuz like I said, I had done that like 2 or 3 times at that point. And it was right there. My PlayStation was like I plugged it up and everything. Before I even turned on his PlayStation, I plugged everything up and was like, "Yeah, all right, now I can swap whenever." And I sat there, rewatched all of season 1, and then clicked on Honkai on his PlayStation, even though I was like, I want to watch something on Crunchyroll. I have Crunchyroll. Quincy doesn't. Brain was like, no, you're locked to this PlayStation. And I was literally just sitting there, and I was like, what do I do? I I want to watch something on Crunchyroll. Brain's like, nope, you're on this PlayStation. But my PlayStation's right there. I can literally just like I can roll over to it and turn it on and swap the controller, and I'm on that PlayStation. Like, nope, you're stuck on Quincy's PlayStation.
I
Good luck. Have
think
fun playing Honkai and Fortnite.
I think it also has to it also has to do with your level of investment. So like in your case, you're just chilling, you're just having a good time. But if you are like let's say you bringing up Invincible since that's what you were watching, if there were new episodes and you really like you were just on a cliffhanger, you would have swapped over. If the only way to watch it was by swapping over, you would have gone out of your
Yeah,
way. But like
yeah,
since this is just like relax, have a good time times, your brain isn't your brain is very much like fuck it, we're already here. Like
yeah. I can only assume that's what it was because like the need to watch anything on Crunchyroll. I remember I thought I need. There's like a bunch of anime on Crunchyroll. I should probably find some anime to watch because I remember why I was doing it. I was editing the Ape Escape video,
mhm.
and because
When's
I
that
was
going to
like,
be out, by the way?
it's out right now already.
When?
I think I uploaded it like yesterday. No. Monday. It went out
Oh,
Monday, like
that
Monday night.
I looked on your channel and I didn't see it. Okay, I'll have to look again.
Yeah, because it had been recorded since the last podcast
Hmm.
of recording day of the last podcast. It had been recorded and the intro was already ready. So I could have just edited it and put it out, but I didn't and procrastinated it for 2 weeks. And it was only a 20-minute video, and it was so dumb. And I could have just did it lickety split, but I procrastinated it so long. And I was like, no, today's the day. Monday, I'm editing this video, I'm putting it out, and I'm gonna do it. And what I proceeded to do was turn on Invincible and watch season one over. And because I was like, I'll just have this on the background. I've watched this like 4 times at this point. I don't need to pay attention to it. I can edit, have it in the background. I proceeded to get thoroughly locked in to watching season one of Invincible over again and thoroughly invested, even though I've seen it a lot. And it took me until I think 8 or 9 p.m. to actually finish editing the video. And then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna play Digimon. And I set it up and realized I don't remember how any of this works, and proceeded to just sit there listening to the intro music over and over again, which is a bop, by the way. Okay, let's not Digimon World 3's menu music, it be hidden, and because I think it's no, I'm thinking of the end music. But yeah, the waiting around music is a bop. Like, come on now. I want to play Digimon now. I want to do a lot of Digimon things, man. You have no idea. I've been fine. Like, I was sitting there scrolling through YouTube because a lot of the stuff that I watch on YouTube, like the content creators that I usually watch, I'm like, I know when they upload. So if they don't upload when the videos might supposed to be out, I'm like, oh, this must be a day that they don't have anything scheduled for or whatever. So I'll just do something else or whatever. And I'm scrolling through YouTube. That's how I found out about the cheese thing.
Yeah, we talked about this. Bro asked me point blank. He's like, "Look, Christmas is coming up. Who's buying me a cheese wheel?"
Like, come on, bro. It's not even that expensive. It's
It's
like
like
$70
$70. That's what do you mean
for
that's
a
not
cheese wheel,
expensive,
dog.
bro?
Come on. You know what I cheese wheel?
Actually, by the way, that is expensive because without going into specifics of how I know this, I know that you can get a wheel of Parmesan Reggiano for 150, and it's decent. And what you sent us was a quarter for 76, and I'm like,
Because it's a
that's a
different type
bad
of
deal.
cheese. Black, bro. It's not even that like special. I can get that at the store right now. Racletta, that's that premium top tier Swiss racletta. Raclette, not racletta. Um, but anyway, the cheese, Swiss. You got some Swiss cheese? Some proper Swiss cheese? Not no. Oh, this is Swiss cheese. Has holes in it, so it's Swiss. Like, no, this is cheese made by the Switzerlandians. Okay.
Ah, man. I
No,
honestly,
shut up, Derek.
I love
No,
you. I
you're
love you,
you're
and
not good. You're
I have
shame me.
I have nothing against your cheese addiction.
It's
However,
not an addiction. It's not an
it's an
addiction.
addiction. It's absolutely an
It's
addiction.
not an addiction.
The amount of times I've heard you go, I'm broke, but I've got $1.50, so let me go to the corner store and buy some cheese.
First of all, that's how I know you lying. Because one, no cheese is $1.50. You could maybe get a slice for $1.50, but they don't sell individual slices at the corner store. So joke's
No,
on you.
you can. Okay, look. First of all, part of the problem, and this is not this. All of a sudden, we're gonna get a little serious. This is what happens when you live in California and I live in Texas. Things are priced a little bit differently.
Oh
um,
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, your gas. I would kill to have your gas prices right now. Not even gonna cap.
so like you talking about
And this is post your guys' like hurricane and stuff.
right.
And it's still better than ours.
And so you're talking about cheese doesn't cost $1.50. I hate to tell you, guy. Sometimes
Oh,
it
so
does.
so okay. So what I'm hearing, all I'm hearing, you stingy bitch, is that you can afford to get me the cheese
Okay,
because it's cheaper.
I could afford to buy you cheese from a local grocery store. Yes,
All right,
I
ship it.
I
There you
can't
go.
afford to ship it
Oh
overnight.
my gosh, this guy.
Do you know how much that would fucking cost me?
This
Like
guy, our
at
friendship
that
has no monetary,
like
you know,
his it
come
does
on now.
you're right. Our friendship doesn't have any monetary value, but my wallet does.
Fuck your wallet, man. The cheese.
Like the idea, the whole. I mean, I could find a way to get you cheese. I mean, and
Thank you,
also
Derek.
you're like don't thank me. I haven't done anything yet. Um,
Oh, well, loser.
you're sitting there like it's the premium Swiss. Let's be real, Ed. Let's
No, no, no.
level
Don't
with
you
me. No,
dare.
no, no.
Don't you dare.
Level with me. If
Don't
you
you
got
dare.
any cheese from me, you'd be happy. Like you're making it sound like, oh, this is the good Ed. If I sent you a
It's the
bag
good
of
shit.
if I sent you a bag of Mexican blend, you'd still be happy. Don't
No,
lie to me.
no, I would not. No, I would not. Not for the same reason. I'd be happy because it's like, oh wow, this is useful. I use this for stuff. Not, oh man, that wheel of cheese that I'm about to ration very
No, don't fucking lie to me. Ration. You don't ration cheese.
yeah.
You're incredibly bad about rationing cheese. A normal
I am
person,
good at
yes.
rationing
Ed,
cheese.
no.
I'm good at rationing cheese. I'll
Uh-huh.
have you know.
Fucking lie to me again. Lie to
I'll
me
have
some
you
more.
know that when I was here alone, while Quincy was with his girlfriend, I bought 2 bags of cheese to use in my dishes that I was making.
And I only cried once.
And I made it last the whole weekend.
A whole 2 days? Most people would
Yes,
let that
sir.
last 2 weeks.
Okay, first of all, I was making a lot of the food that I needed it for because I was like trying to perfect a recipe, sir. But
Was the
and it was
recipe
good.
handfuls to your
Um,
face?
Shut up. I don't eat. Okay, you and Quincy make me out to be some cheese gremlin, and I'm not. I'm not shoveling fistfuls of shredded cheese into my gullet like an animal. That's disgusting, and I would never do. Now, if you gave me a knife and a block of cheese, then we have a different story. But that's beside the point.
I thought for a second you'd be like, I never did it again. Like,
No, I like it's different, and okay. This isn't gonna help my case any, but I have to clarify some things. Shredded cheese, for one, if it's pre-shredded cheese, it's not the same as having the actual block of cheese. One,
no.
because they have to have the preservatives in there
Yeah.
to allow it to not melt and stick together while it's in a bag together.
Which is
So there is a
why
different
certain
flavor.
diets will tell you not to have shredded cheese for
Yeah,
those preservative reasons.
yeah. So, and like I don't know what it is though. Like me, if I'm eating just raw shredded cheese, it it's it's disgusting to me. Like a
No,
pinch,
I'm
like
right
a
with you.
really small, yeah, a small pinch, like just to taste it to be like, oh, this tastes good.
Yeah.
I can do that.
It's not spoiled.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like, but to just like grab a good amount and shove it and like eat it like that, nah, I can't do it. Now if it's
Yeah.
slices, I will, man, I'll devour some slices. Like split. My sister got a cheese board when I was over there last time around Thanksgiving time. And because she had to grocery shop because when I got there, they were like just running out of groceries. And she had went grocery shopping. That and my grandniece was over, so she needed to definitely get some stuff to like have food for her too. And she was like, "Oh yeah, I got this, and this, and everything. Like, just letting me know everything that she was getting, so I know like what's in the house already. I don't really have for anything."
Hmm.
And then she was like, "And I got us a charcuterie board with some cheeses on it, some different types of cheeses." And I was like,
Like a pre-made
"Oh,
charcuterie
okay."
board.
Yeah, like the ones that are in like the plastic sealed thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and my the amount of willpower that it took to not just devour every single slice of cheese that was on there, it was. I waited because I was like, okay, I don't want her like being like, dang, what happened to all the cheese? Because me and my sister both love cheese.
Right.
Like me and my oldest sister love cheese, but like I think I'm like if you were to compare us, you would say I'm the one with the problem. So I had some to taste and be like, oh yeah, this is really good. I had like one slice of cheese, maybe two of the sharp cheddar because sharp cheddar's like kind of my favorite. And
Sharp cheddar or extra sharp cheddar?
sharp cheddar, extra sharp, it's good, but like I don't know, just the different types of sharp cheddars hit. And my favorite right now is the Clover Valley sharp cheddar that you can get from Dollar General. That
You've told me
shit,
about that, yeah.
oh my god, bro, my guy. Um, but yeah, so
Do you think there's like a
like,
sommelier for cheese?
what is it? What?
A sommelier is like a person who like grades wines and like can recommend
Oh,
wines and shit. Do you think
I
there's somebody
I
like that
I
for
th-
cheese?
I think there exclusively is because you kind of have to do that in order to properly package cheese.
Hmm.
Like you have to, yeah, you kind of have to grade it because it'll, and that's where the different types of like sharp cheddar come from. It's basically just different grades of cheddar. So like medium, sharp, extra sharp. It's all just, you know, a different grading of the cheddar due to, the age and everything. So they kind of do that. And I feel like they kind of have to also because when you get those like wine and cheese packages things, like those
Yeah.
subscription boxes, they pair it like they pair the wine with certain cheeses.
Well, yeah,
So
like I know that a lot of sommeliers will do that. They know which cheeses will go well with
yeah,
which wines. But like I didn't know if there was anybody who only did
only did
cheese.
cheese. I think I feel like they would have to in order to even like talk to and like pair those things together at all.
Be respected.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
I would only assume that obviously there's no like big notoriety for it. Otherwise, that question wouldn't be asked at all. Well, unless we're just stupid and it's
It's
just a common
possible.
known thing.
Yeah.
It's highly possible that we're just stupid.
Like I know
But
that
I ain't mad at
sommeliers
it.
are a big deal, but I still couldn't name you any. But I'm sure there are people who are like, don't you know about Carlton
Yeah,
Carlton? Like,
yeah. You don't
he,
know about William Wynington? Come
yeah,
on now.
he was so famous that he was featured on an episode of Fresh Prince. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's like, oh, I didn't know that was him. But yeah,
like,
I had to withhold eating all that cheese until my sister was like done. I waited until it was down to like maybe three slices each, and I just devoured it. It was a
that's
painful
some real
process.
self control.
It was a painful process. I'll tell you that much because like obviously she put it back in the refrigerator. She was done like with however much she was eating, and I would go into the refrigerator to grab like whatever drink or anything, and I'd see it and I'd be like, it's right there. I could, I could like right now. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. And I would just wait. And I just waited until it was like down to three slices of each type of cheese, and now's my time. I, she wouldn't be mad if I did this now, and she wasn't. She let it ride, and I was thankful. But yeah, it's just cheese is a good thing. Whoever doesn't like cheese, you're crazy and stupid. And why did your parents allow you to live?
God, I love to hear you say that because I'm starting to realize there's a lot of people who don't like cheese, and I'm like, I don't get it. If you're on a
I don't
diet, I
either.
understand, but like other
Okay, but
than
that's
that,
not liking cheese. That's you're on a diet, so you shouldn't eat the cheese because it will mess with your diet. That's
yeah,
different. But the people that are just like, nah, dog, I don't really like cheese. What you mean you don't like cheese? I don't like cheese. Like you don't like cheese on like anything? You eat pizza? It's like, yeah, I eat pizza. Okay, then you like it? No, yeah, but sometimes it's just too much cheese on it sometimes, so I don't really get it as often. It's like, excuse me? Did you?
yeah, that's a great example. There are people who look at me like I'm a fucking pariah when I order a cheese pizza. It's like, no, it's delicious. Or even a four
Yeah,
cheese
like
pizza. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like to me, I can't eat a full just cheese pizza and
Really?
everything. Like I do need some sort of topping on it, but I'm not gonna like. It's still good. Like the slices. Like if I order a pepperoni pizza, and sometimes pepperonis get shifted because the pizza's hot and it's moving around and stuff. So there's like some slices that just don't have pepperoni on it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
effectively just a cheese pizza. I'm not like, I can't eat that slice. No, I'm like, oh dang, I guess I got me a half and half pepperoni and half cheese pizza. Like, oh, I ain't gonna complain.
So, as the cheese gremlin you are,
I'm
what
not
are
a
you?
cheese gremlin.
Oh, it doesn't matter what the truth is. Quincy and I are gonna invent our own narrative.
Oh. So
I
but
mean,
when I invent narratives about my friends,
you do it all the time. It's because you do it that we're allowed to do it. we would
I
we
get
would
chastised for it.
we would respect each other. We would respect each other as gentlemen. But because you do it, now all bets are off. Like
Dang.
we're just you started something that you can't put back.
I see. Okay. But as the cheese gremlin that I am, begrudgingly,
what are your thoughts on paninis? Because
never
like,
had a panini.
oh really, dude?
Never had a panini. I don't even know. Like the only interaction I've had with the panini is the Family Guy episode where he makes a panini in his car,
I have
and
no idea what
I
you're
know
talking about.
that's well, it's just like a thing where Peter like gets a sandwich maker and
Mm-hmm.
everything, like the pressed sandwich thingy,
Yeah.
and he's like, now I can make a nice hot fresh panini, and he makes like this really weird, disgusting sounding panini, and like it hasn't turned me off from paninis. It hasn't turned me off from paninis, but like I just haven't had the opportunity to like eat a proper panini. I don't even know what's actually supposed to be inside of them.
I mean, it depends on what you want. People make paninis differently, but cheese is a big portion of the panini. Some people
Okay.
put pepperoni. Some people put different kinds of chicken, whether it's just chicken
Oh,
chunks
I
or
mean,
buffalo or. But cheese is a
I,
big part of a panini. Panini
I
is
mean, you can't
basically
really mess up with cheese in a meat. But
it,
what were you about to say? A panini is?
a panini is basically a grilled cheese that's on two thick pieces of bread, whether it's ciabatta or sourdough, and then
Hmm.
a meat of some kind of choice. Sometimes people put vegetables on it, like onions or bell peppers.
Oh,
I don't fuck
I
with that.
mean,
I
that
just
sounds like just a fancy way to say a sandwich. But
no like heavy amounts of cheese.
oh, the more the merrier, my friend. Well,
You may have
you
been
can't go
making
wrong.
you may have been making paninis by accident this
I
entire
may
time.
have. I ain't even shoot. You telling me the more cheese, so a sandwich evolves into a panini depending on how much cheese is in it. My guy, I
And the
must have been
bread.
making paninis
Like if it's just
and the and this,
if it's just two slices of wheat or white, it's probably not a
but
panini.
it's just a sandwich. Okay, but effectively ingredients wise, it's
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
fancier sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, like a po' boy is essentially just a sub sandwich, but like
So
because
a panini is an ascended sandwich.
yes,
I can get behind paninis.
if
I
this was
can
a
get behind.
if this was a gotcha game, then a regular like a grilled cheese, no, two pieces of bread is one, and then two toasted pieces of bread with butter is level two, and then
Uh,
grilled cheese, then
yeah.
sandwich, and then
Mm-hmm.
panini.
Okay. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. See, we make everything gotcha game relevant around here in the gotcha game.
I think this is the first time we've done a
Oh,
metaphor or
it is.
allegory
It is
involving a gotcha game.
with the gotcha game. I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe we've done like two or three overall the almost 30 episodes we've done. So effectively one every 10 episodes track. Um,
um.
yeah, no. Speaking of gotcha game,
Oh.
I started a new gotcha game.
Oh.
Yeah, I caved and downloaded Dragon Ball Legends.
Oh.
And honestly, thoroughly enjoying it. It's one of the reasons why I did not go to sleep last night.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I eventually fell asleep, but it was like at 8 a.m. So,
Oh, was it? I feel like we've been talking all day.
yeah. We, let me see, because I know, let me go up in this group chat. I can easily see, because I know my alarm for 9 a.m. went off. Oh, that means I didn't go to sleep until 9.
You're like, wait
Dang.
a minute, the math already isn't tracking.
Yeah, the math already. Yeah, yeah, no, I went to sleep at like 9 a.m. and then I got woken up. Sarah called me, and that was at like 12.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I effectively had 3 hours of sleep, and that's because I was playing Dragon Ball Legends, which, like I said, thoroughly enjoying. I had put it off for so long because I was like, it seems like a lot. Like, it seems like there's going to be a lot of mechanics in here that I'm not really understand, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem like my type of game. But it thoroughly is. Like, combat's pretty simple, nothing too complicated. The card system is completely understandable, and honestly, the animations are great. It's really good. Like, it's honestly really really good. And of course, me, I am a sucker for anything that you can level up in. So,
Yeah.
and Dragon Ball Legends has that a dime a dozen. You
Es-
level up your
You
actual character
especially
level.
like when you can change forms by leveling up.
Oh yeah, Pokemon and Digimon, like I was their target audience. Shoot, they showed me something that can evolve by leveling it up. I'm now attached to them for life. I'm never gonna leave. They they could show me Gen 1 right now and be like, we remade Gen 1 and here you go. And I'm just gonna be like, thank you. I've always wanted this
I
and I didn't know
appreciate
that I
what you're
needed
showing
it.
me.
Yeah, yeah, this is great. And if Digimon showed me anything, I'm I'm telling you this now. I'm crying and screaming if they 3 remake or 4. I'm crying and screaming.
Yeah.
I just
I think
I'm
much like the Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think that you've mentioned this on the podcast before.
no, probably. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for Digimon. If Bandai, please, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, please just give me Digimon World 3. I will love you forever. You can have all my money. I don't care what DLC is coming out. I'll you could make a DLC that releases one Digimon every other like year, and I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'm not joking. I will buy it. You can charge me $70 for it. I'll do it. $70 every DLC. There you go. That is your monthly income. $70 right there. I
So
ain't even gonna lie.
it's funny that you talk about passively watching anime and specifically passively watching or passively playing a gotcha game now too, because I've been doing something similar. I finally got back into Fate,
Fate. Oh boy. Hold on. Let me get
and
comfortable.
because
All right. All right. I now have my on on my face, and my feet are kicking and swinging in the air.
why? Because the status quo has finally been reached again.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. I'm waiting on Derek to go on his fate tangent.
There,
I'm here. I'm ready for it.
it's not gonna be hella long. I just
Nah, lie to me again.
the fuck off. The Christmas event came out, and when I saw that
Hmm.
it was only gonna be 8 days long, which is unusual for Fate, I decided
Yeah.
since I'm watching stuff, I'll put that on the big TV and then play Fate on my phone,
Mm.
and it's been fun. I'm back. I'm back.
Oh boy.
I really like because it's been so many months since I've been like heavily invested in Fate. I
Mm.
completely forgot, and this is odd for me because I was playing it for like 3 years straight, every
You
day.
were playing it very heavily, so much to the point that you were like you just. Whew, guys! Before the Gotcha Gang podcast even. Whew, there was Derek was a Fate boy.
I mean, I still love Fate. It's still a part of my
Yeah, no,
DNA.
but you know how you have your Disney now. Yeah, the Fate addiction was wild.
Yeah, I mean, except it lasted years. Like this
You
is
know, yeah, and you know how
the Disney
it's
thing is
also
like
wild.
right now, but the Fate thing was for years.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Derek to fully relapse and then just mention Fate every 2 seconds like he used to.
Oh shit.
He mentioned Fate, so he was so in love with Fate that whenever I go to upload a video on and I open YouTube Studios on my phone to check like statistics and everything,
Hmm.
his comment is still there on my Final Fantasy video where I mentioned Fate.
The word Fate. The
The
word
word
Fate.
Fate. The context probably did not involve Derek talking about the actual game, Fate Grand Order. But the
The
comment and timestamped. He timestamped it and said, "Did someone say Fate?" That is Derek in a nutshell when it came to Fate.
yeah. Yep. That like I've I mean, I mentioned it a few episodes ago when when I brought up Emperor Norton. There was a period
Yeah.
of time where I was so like I would love to predict what servants were gonna get added to the game,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
as a result, I started doing like my own history papers. I'm an adult man who's not in school, and I was doing like
And I'm
history
doing
papers
his for fun.
for fate. Like,
For Fate fun.
so
Hey, honestly, yo, now with the way your channel is, you could probably like actually do those type of videos.
um I see why you say that. I don't think Fate content is where my channel needs to go. I think I need to pivot towards Doctor Who and VTubers.
You
Um,
heavily do need to pivot towards VTubers. I'm pretty action video. That thing will go crazy.
well, I mean, I'll I've tried to do another reaction video, but we've talked about that. It didn't. The video got corrupted, and that's whatever. I'm not gonna hold it. But I would love to do another one with you guys, but we've trying to we
Scheduling.
yeah
Scheduling happens.
scheduling. And by scheduling, I know I can get you in a video. If I go, Ed, do you want to record a video? You'd be like, all right, give me a minute, and we'll do it. But specifically, you and I talked about doing a video with the three of us,
Yeah, yeah.
and
You gotta
Quincy's
you gotta
never
pull
available.
teeth with Quincy.
I don't even know if it's
You gotta.
necessarily pulling teeth with Quincy. I mean, it is kind of, but it's also like he has about as limited a schedule as I do.
Yeah,
So
he has a lot going on. Like even if I was in his shoes in terms of like where he's working job schedule, I'd still have way more free time than he does.
yeah, yeah. Um, but how did we get to
And
this?
that's what happens when you have a kid, folks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have a kid and you just you deal with kid things. Being a single father is crazy.
Can I? I'm also, and I don't mean this in any sort of negative way, and I know you won't
No,
take
he
it, but
does.
I need to tell
No,
the
he doesn't.
audience this. Uh, you also don't have your parents, which Quincy spends a lot of time
I
with his
don't. I be
parents.
forgetting about that sometimes.
But
Because you said that. What do you mean? Oh yeah,
so like you
that
like
did happen.
knowing where Quincy's at, like the two big differences are you don't have your parents and you don't have a kid.
That is
Um,
true.
like
And I
because
don't have a girlfriend.
you told me in the last week you had a girlfriend. I was believing you
Oh,
on
Derek,
that
that was a
one.
bit. Oh, Derek, that was a bit.
Oh, fuck. I
They're back, baby.
I was reasonably sure that it was a bit, but I'm also like I also want to be a good friend
There's
and trust you.
yeah, there's that chance. Yeah, it
Is
is funny because the bits are they put you in a position where it's like, if I believe this is a bit, which it probably is, I'm right, and there's no negative repercussions.
Yeah.
But on the off chance that it's not a bit and he's serious about this, I look like a major asshole if I don't believe him.
I mean,
And that's the best part of the bits.
the funny thing is now I know you didn't leave. You said like I have to leave to go talk to my girlfriend. Now I know you just left that party to leave. um,
Wait, when? Wait, oh,
well,
during the video
the
game awards?
yeah, video game awards.
No,
Like
did I say to go talk to my girlfriend?
you may not have, but I know that you mentioned you're like
I could see how you would have gotten to that conclusion.
yeah.
I could see how you would have gotten to that because that was did the bit of having a girlfriend. Um, yeah, no. Yeah, no.
So
Yeah, no.
so then let me ask you for the one that I think is like I'm 99% sure is a bit, but I've been going along with it. Is
Okay.
is Hannah is Hannah real or is that you?
No, Hannah's real.
Hannah's a real person. That's not a bit.
Yeah, Hannah's a real person. Yeah, that's not a bit.
Okay,
No,
so who is
Hannah. It was
so then
Hannah, Alyssa, and Alyssa's boyfriend Ty. They came over while Quincy was gone because not Hannah, Alyssa, she does hair, and since I was getting my twist taken out and everything because it was about that time, so I could wash and everything, she was like, "Oh, can I come do it?" Because I've known Alyssa since college, since
oh, okay.
VVC, and yeah. And funny enough, I met Alyssa at VVC, and I met Ty when I went to Platt in Ontario, um, which is also where I met Hannah. But they came over, we hung out and everything. Hannah took a nap. I hadn't seen Hannah since Platt. Like I talked to Ty and Alyssa on occasion,
Mm-hmm.
but they came over. We did a bit on Alyssa because Alyssa, she asked me, she was like, "Oh, hey, next time you get ready to take out your twist, let me know. I want to wash your hair and everything, just to like, get some practice in on doing somebody else's hair and everything. Because obviously she does ties because like that's her boyfriend. Why wouldn't you?
Gotcha.
Um, so I was like, oh yeah. So I let her know. So we had it planned out. She was supposed to come over Monday, but I was like, hey, I'm just gonna do it like tomorrow, which tomorrow was Saturday at that time,
Mm-hmm.
or Friday, one of the two. I can't remember. It was the weekend, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then Ty texted me. He was like, oh, Alyssa said that she's gonna be going over to do your hair. Mind if I come over too? We can play like some video games or whatever. I was like, yeah, no problem. And then he texted me like 2 hours later. It was like, hey, you want to do a bid on Alyssa? I was like, do I want to do a bit? Ty, come on, bro. You know me. And he was like, all right, cool. So I'm going to come over earlier than her and I'm going to wash your hair. And that'll
Okay.
probably like heavily piss her off. And like not super piss her off, but she was excited to like wash my hair.
Right.
And he did it. I was like, all right, we did it. She came over. She had her little Alyssa moment and everything. She got over it. Hannah came over and, we caught up and everything. She got tired because she had just came in from, what was it? From Arizona, I believe. So she was tired. She took a nap and we were catching up. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I have to edit the podcast and everything and put that out. She was like, oh, well, hey, I I know how to do that because I've done freelance work for some YouTubers and everything
Mm-hmm.
before. And I was like, oh, swear. And she was like, yeah, I can do it. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, that'd be great. It would save me some time and stress and everything. And so sent it over. And that's when she told me, she was like, oh, hey, so your thing is only like 45 minutes long. Is that the normal time for your podcast? I was like, no, that episode was like 2 hours.
Damn.
And yeah, she was like, "Oh, yeah, it's only like 45 minutes." And that's when I texted you.
Alright.
And she asked me, that's when she asked me, she was like, "What do you want me to do with it?" I was like, "I'll just I still want it out and everything." And that's when you also asked you to do it. So I just told you basically what I told her.
Mm.
And so she was like, "Okay." And I was like, "You don't have to do anything like super special editing wise. We're not at that point yet." And she was like, "Oh, okay." So she just did her little thing. I don't even know what it looks like. I just,
Yeah, so that's why I was like that's why I would say I was 25% sure she was real and 75% sure it was a bit was because there were editing ticks in there that I've never seen in any of your videos, let alone the Gotcha Gang videos. So I'm like, this might not be Ed, or it is
Yeah.
Ed and he intentionally did editing ticks to throw me off because he knows I'm going to watch it.
You do
So,
watch the podcast, and you do that.
but I was also like, maybe Hannah is, and I also wasn't sure what the story was. So I'm like, is Hannah gonna be the fourth member of the Gotcha Gang,
Oh
or
hell no. Oh
it was
hell no.
it was a one off?
No. No. That was like the one time I was like, thanks, Hannah. And she was like, no problem. I was like, all right. Never again.
um.
It's one of those
So,
things where it's like, you're doing great, sweetie. You have to cut her out now.
so I've watched a few. I've watched a lot in the last since the last podcast. Um,
Yeah,
I've watched
you have.
I've watched an absurd amount of television, and I really enjoy it because in the last year
We've noticed.
since I've been doing content creation, like I've been kind of there's a lot of times where I'm like I really want to watch something. Like luckily for me, I put a hard date on myself that said like once the VTuber video is out, this is the last video for 2023. Then
Excuse
I'll
me.
get started on stuff.
Oh, look at you go. Look at
And
you.
so
Hard stopping, putting a thing. Me and you have the opposite problem.
dude, I'm gonna be real. There's a plenty of times where I'm like, oh, I have an idea for a video. I have an idea for a video, and I have to tell myself, no, save that for 2024. Just save it.
Yeah, see, I have the exact opposite. I have no idea but I just know I want to make a video, and I just have all this space to put things out. But I don't. I can't.
I mean, if we've learned anything, it's you put out a video that the non VTuber fan reacts to VTubers,
Yeah,
and
true. Let me. I just gotta get you to react. Hate. Maybe I'll get you to react to Digimon.
huh?
Wait.
I mean,
Hold on.
you could get me to do a reaction video.
I could get Derek to do a reaction
I
video.
mean, because if we've learned anything, reaction videos do fairly well.
They do, and I think reaction videos do pretty well. One, because it's funny to see people's reaction, and two, you get more of a personality for a person when they're reacting to something.
Yeah, you know the funny thing is, since I've gotten my camera, I haven't successfully
Used
been
it
able
for a
to.
video.
Yeah, like that was what the reaction video was. The last reaction video that got corrupted was supposed to be for, was
Oh,
for my my in face reactions, but like I
yeah,
said, it got corrupted. Um.
it's funny. And funny enough, I could actually do like camera for reaction videos.
Oh, could you?
Yeah, I have a PlayStation camera. That's how I would stream with my face cam. Like all I would have to really just like I mean, it probably wouldn't be like a full screen thing, or could it? I wonder. I probably could make it some sort of screen, full
Or
screen,
could it?
or at least a bigger screen. I probably could, especially
But
on PS5.
so while I've been of the stuff I've been watching, I briefly I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I talked
Hmm.
about starting Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Oh, you and the Star Trek man.
I finished that. I'm not nearly as obsessed about it as anything else. It's just a good show.
Mm, good
But
show.
I send certain things in the group chat because there are times where it's like this show really did that. Like when Captain Kirk finally shows up, I sent you guys that clip because I was like, it's fucking Paul Wesley. Like
Yeah,
why is Stefan from the Vampire Diaries fucking Captain Kirk? And
because why not?
that one really like that one threw me for a loop. I was
Oh,
very
vampire.
I was like he by the way, he is far better as Stefan than he is as Captain Kirk.
As Captain Kirk. Oh man,
Yeah.
I wonder why.
He's really bad.
I wonder why. It's freaking Stefan. Now that's a ripper.
Yeah, no, that is a ripper. Dude,
That's a ripper.
That Ripper season 3, the way season 3 starts. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Save it. Save it. Save it. Save it for the
Eventually,
CW episode.
eventually we'll do a second Vampire Diaries. We've said that before. Eventually we'll do a second Vampire Diaries episode. Eventually we'll do a Power Rangers tier list. Eventually we'll do a
Hey,
Gen 2 Pokemon.
Hey, first of all, the Gen 2, the Pokemon tier list, the tier lists are a you content thing. So it's all up to whenever you actually sit down and be like, I want to do this right here, right now. Who's ready? And if you're willing to accept either one of us, like being there with you. But if
in
you
in
can't
the
accept one of us, then I understand.
in the case of the Pokemon tier list, I think it's totally justified if it's just you and me. Quincy's not nearly as into Pokemon as we are.
That is true. Now
Uh,
give him a Power Rangers tier list. You might make him upset if he's not there.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
And you do know he's going to be heavy, heavy, heavy biased towards what is that? Lost Galaxy or In Space? One of
Yeah,
those.
it's a Lost Galaxy. I
Lost
mean,
Galaxy.
In
Yeah.
Space is connected to it, but no,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
mostly Lost Galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Um,
Yellow Ranger does something to him, man.
I don't, and
That Yellow and that Pink Ranger does something.
he and he constantly references the a Watch Mojo video that talked about it. That's like 7 years old at this point. He goes, see, I'm justified. It's like Quincy,
You
stop.
mean 7-year-old evidence?
Like, come on, man.
Get it together, my brother. Get it together.
Do you know how many Power Rangers there's been since then? Calm down.
Yeah, relax. Chill out, bro.
But
Crazy.
so in watching Strange New Worlds, there have been a couple of episodes that have stood out to me for all
Mm.
the wrong, well, not all the wrong reasons, but for all the wildest
No, no,
reasons.
no. You had it right the first time.
The musical episode was like, oh my
Oh, Brother
god,
Bear.
holy
No,
shit!
Brother Bear.
And then it was actually a good musical too. I was like, all right.
Oh, did they do Hamilton?
They did no, they made their own songs.
Oh, wiggy whack, yo.
But
I
dude,
mean,
it was
fair.
good. It was surprisingly good. Like, I mean, it being a musical, I wasn't expecting much, and they definitely over delivered from what I was expecting.
Not over delivered.
Um, so I was pleasantly surprised with that.
That's
There's
cool.
a crossover with the cartoon show Lower Decks, and that episode
Oh,
was that was just silly. Like that episode was not meant to be taken
that
seriously at
was
all.
silly.
Like one of the cartoon characters comes to like their timeline. He's like, "You guys look so realistic." He's just like touching them and shit.
He looks so realistic.
The main thing that I've been touching on this week is the third of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials came out,
Mm.
and I watched that, and I'm gonna talk spoilers since I know Quincy's not gonna listen to this episode, and B, because I know you don't care.
Imagine this be the one that he's just like, you know what? I wasn't here for. Let me listen to this bad boy, see what these schmucks were talking about.
Well, okay, you know what? He's been given a warning, so um,
P.S. Quincy, if you're listening to this is your fault now if you're still here.
yeah, it really is. Um, but so like the big thing that's being that people are like, we talked last week how there's a bunch of different controversial takes about what's been happening, especially because it's been very progressive. Well, this season or this episode introduces the idea of bi-generation, which
Oh yeah, I
pissed
know that one.
a
Yeah, I
lot of
watched
people
that
off.
one.
Did
Oh,
you?
that's the one that I thought you. Yeah, that's the one I thought you guys were talking about. When it was the thing about something that's never been done with the Doctor before,
No.
and I was talking about bi-generation, and that's why I brought it up because I had seen that.
No,
So
because you were talking about you're like, David Tennant comes back.
what's it?
That's what you were talking about.
Oh, I thought I was talking about bi-generation because you were mentioning Shooty Gatwitz. I was like, oh yeah, is it you guys are talking about? It was probably just a simple misunderstanding. I could have easily mentioned that David Tennant coming back
So
and just
the
forgot. But yeah, I saw that. I saw
the
the bi-generation thing.
the bi generation is now both Shooty and
And
David
David
Tennant
Tennant.
exist at the
Yeah.
same time, which has never happened
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people are
Got
mad.
yourself two TARDISes.
Yep, yep,
Two
exactly.
TARDISi.
The Tardisi?
That's not the TARDISi. I mean, the way he be talking to that TARDIS, it seemed like
I
it.
mean, yeah, for sure. Especially the 11th Doctor, who's like got his face on it, and he's like, "Come on, baby."
Yeah, I don't know. That guy
um,
a freak.
but yeah, so like a lot of people are mad. I, I personally, I only don't like it because I don't want more David Tennant. I kind of just want to
I
get
can
to
see
Shooty.
that. Yeah, because I can see from that point, I could understand because it's like, okay, David Tennant, I get it, popular or whatever. This is all me just,
Yeah, the
assuming and
most
stuff.
popular.
Yeah, because I do not truly understand the community on what they do like is like, or how they view anything because I'm not in it like that.
Right.
But it's like David Tennant. He was there, popular. He came back. It's like, okay, cool. You probably came back because he was so popular,
Hmm.
and now you're like keeping him around. Kind of, you're keeping him around for popularity's sake, but it's also kind of messing up the whole type of way that Doctor Who kind of works.
Yeah.
You do your time, you regenerate, new actor comes in, which is what allows for new talent to come in for being Doctor Who and everything.
Hmm.
Why it's such a huge thing when these new actors come in because a lot of the time these actors grew up with and
Yeah.
they're happy to be a part of it. Like Shooty Gatwitz, it was like he talked about it. He was like, it's something that I grew up with, and now I get to be a part of it. So it's like, you know, you kind of messed that up by keeping around this character that has done his run as the Doctor.
Yeah, and especially on the off chance, and we don't know for sure how this is gonna work, but on the off
Yeah,
chance that David Tennant's gonna get his own show, and Shooty's gonna get his own show, right?
yeah,
There are gonna be people who are gonna be, oh, I don't really care about Shooty because I just want
yeah.
to see my Doctor, and
More
my Doctor is
exactly.
David Tennant, and it's like
Hmm. Yeah,
that's not fair to Shooty Gatwa. He's gonna try
yeah,
his hardest, and you're
yeah.
not
And
gonna give him
that's
a
a
chance
thing.
because you don't want you're adverse to change. And I get that we're humans and
Yeah,
we are adverse to change, but like I'm I'm happy every time every doctor regenerates. I'm also happy with those doctors. Do I want more? Yes, but I don't want that
yeah,
in place of somebody else taking the role.
yeah. Because it makes it because, like you said, and like we don't know which way it's gonna go. For sake of argument, they both get their own show.
Yeah.
You now like the main, obviously I'd assume that Shooty Gatwitz would be the part of the main Doctor Who thing,
Yeah,
and
you
then
think.
David Tennant's would be the spinoff.
Right.
So, but by having this really popular character on the spinoff,
Hmm.
you would assume that you brought him back because he's popular. So those fans that were really excited that he got brought back, and maybe even some that were like confused, like why is he here again? They're gonna go over to the spinoff because, like you said, adverse to change. They're gonna want to just see more of what they already know they like versus trying out this new thing.
Right.
And like you said, it's not fair to the actor because it's like it's not fair to Shooty Gatwas because like this is supposed to be his run,
Yeah.
and now that attention is going to be taken away and possibly not do as well that it could have done because now the people have a choice. And given the choice, people are going to choose what they're familiar with versus something new.
Yeah. And
So it's really unfair.
it's unfortunate too because like he gets a good quarter of the episode to
Yeah.
introduce himself to fans, and I
Yeah.
thought that he did an excellent job that entire way. I
So did
still
I.
think that people are gonna go, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And
And it also happens simply because they know, like you said, if David Tennant does give it his own show, people know the one that I like is still here. So
Right.
I'm not forced to try this new thing. I'm
Yeah.
not forced to watch Shooty Gatwitz, like, and that's kind of what makes people give something a chance is when they're forced to. Like, if you
Yeah.
like Doctor Who and you're gonna want to continue seeing Doctor Who stories, you watch Doctor Who, and regeneration happens and a new actor comes, and you're like, I don't really, whether it just be their appearance or how they portray it when they regenerate and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Do I really want to? I'm not really feeling this doctor. But
And
in
that's
the back of their
valid.
mind, they're like, yeah, which is completely valid. But in the back of their mind, they're like, I'm still gonna probably watch this because I do want to see what, like, story wise, what's happening. I may not care about the character, but I care about the story. And then over time, they warm up to that character, and now they're like, you know what? I didn't originally like this doctor, but they've grown on me, and I respect it, and I actually do like them now.
Yeah. I
So, like,
mean,
that can happen.
and for me personally, there's a lot of doctors where, I mean, David Tennant is a great example. I own it physically. I rewatch his stuff constantly. So I think that's another reason that I don't need to go. I don't need more David Tennant because I already have it. I can go back to it whenever I want. And for with Doctor Who more than any other show, there's the audio stories that I pop on when I want to, and I can get more of those classic Doctors and hear it and imagine it for myself. Picturing it in my mind's eye, and
Yeah,
for me, there is no shortage of it. And I guess for a lot of people, they don't want to rewatch it. They just want new episodes, and they
yeah,
don't
they
want to
want new
listen to
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, you can't tell people you have to change. So
yeah, no.
maybe to an extent, I'm being. There are people who think I'm being ridiculous for only wanting change and not wanting the same old thing that we've been getting, the same old thing that
How
we did last week.
how dare you want new and different? Are you even from Earth, bro?
Fucking right. I mean, I start every episode of my content by saying, "Welcome, people of
Welcome,
Earth."
people
So
of Earth.
maybe I'm not. But yeah,
I
it's
can't wait for season 2 of Comic Stacks YouTube channel to see how that changes.
listen. The Comic Stack YouTube channel doesn't need gimmicks. The Gotcha Gang absolutely does.
Wow.
I mean, we don't. In order to make Quincy happy, we do. But normally we
In
don't.
order to make Quincy, we don't care about his happiness. Come on, man. He's not even here to defend himself.
Oh shit. But yeah, that's basically it. I've also been watching other stuff, but we will talk about that next week because we are going to devote maybe not an entire, hopefully an entire podcast, but maybe not an entire
It'll be
podcast.
an entire podcast. Trust me. Between the fact that the things that you have watched, um, me and Quincy have both also watched all the
Yeah.
way through. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about and a lot of tangents to go on and a lot of controversial statements that are gonna be made about
By
certain
who?
people. By Quincy about me, and by
Oh.
controversial I mean that it's just he thinks something about me I don't necessarily agree with.
Oh.
We've already talked in the group chat.
Recently? Oh. Oh, we talking about the
Yeah,
thing that happened today?
yeah.
I mean, we can talk about that. We don't have to
No, I'm
save that
saying
for the podcast.
no. I'm saying he's Quincy's most likely going to bring up that he thinks I'm a ripper,
Oh yeah.
or that I'm going to be a ripper, which still doesn't make sense. Like for one, it's like, oh, you were like, call me up, I'll kill him. We'll use a bullet for. And he's like, no, we're not going to kill him. And I'm like, so we leave the house completely because I'm a
I,
vampire,
can we
but we won't kill me.
can we acknowledge the fact that the way you texted that you were actually more upset that you that he was leaving than we were killing
No,
you?
because I'm like, all right, because it's like, listen. if you see me as a threat enough to be like, nah, it's too dangerous to even be in the same roof as him, then just put me down and then you can stay. Like, if I'm that much of a problem, take me out. End me.
Um,
Like, do not just let me roam about, because then now you're a part of the problem.
but yeah.
I'm just saying, would you let a Ripper roam, Eric?
Hell no.
Exactly.
Just roam. Do you know how many like people you know that they will just casually destroy? That's not
Yeah, just
happening.
for shits and giggles.
Like it's not even personal. It is a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
accident.
yeah, like it's just like, ah, dang, I'm kind of hungry. Let me nibble on this person's neck real quick.
Let me make a sandwich
They-
out of Fred.
yeah, it's like, yeah, let me just do. Damn, this kind of dang, this blood kind of tastes dead, and then their heads rolling on the floor. So like, come on now, why would you let that roam free? Especially if you know, like, if you know that I am a Ripper, which Quincy heavily believes that I would be a Ripper.
I I also love that Quincy's not touchy feely towards us at all, but at the same time that is his level of touchy feely because he's like, I'm not gonna kill Ed. Like that's my
I can't
boy.
kill it. No, because me and Quincy have been over this multiple times, and he would do if I was a Ripper. You have no idea, Derek. We
I
have, like, when
I
I
really wish I
first
was
started
y'all's
watching
roommate.
it. When I first started watching Vampire Diaries, and I like, it got to the part where it explains, hey, yeah, Ripper season. These are Rippers. This is what happens. This is what Rippers do. I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, yep, you're a Ripper. And then it clicked in my head. I was like, you think I'm that? You think that me, this guy right here, Edison, is gonna be that if I'm a vampire? What? And then it's like, yep, that'd be you. Like, it's you. Like, that's, yeah. And he is hard set on it. Like, he is. There is no, like, maybe you could calm down. He's like, no, full blown, no control. You're a Ripper.
No
Like,
phase.
there is no, oh, you can fight it off and just only survive off of animal blood. No, you're a Ripper. You have no control. You're tearing through humans left and right.
What a great guy that
This
Quincy.
has been going on for years.
Oh shit. That's funny.
This has been a yearly thing. And I'm just like, no, bro, it's me. And then everybody else, you say I'm not. Sarah says I'm not. But Quincy's like, nah.
don't
He's
don't believe his lies.
Yeah, that boy out of control. Him right there, he ain't got no self control. He's tearing through bodies. That's him. People's heads are rolling. I just had to
um
sit there and be like, all right, I guess.
yeah. But is there anything else you'd like to? By the way, anybody listening to the podcast, this is where we've cut back to. So you've there's something missing, and I
Yeah,
apologize.
they're
It's
gonna be like, wow, that's a really big random gap that's happening right now.
you will you'll find out what that is later. We're saving it for something else. um, but we're. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about in this podcast before we wrap it up?
Um, Not really. There's not much. I talked about everything actually. I got all of my points that I remembered that I had to talk about on the
It's
podcast. Talked
it's a
about
lot
Dragon Ball
easier when
Legends.
there's only three. When there's only two of us compared to the three of us, because
Yeah,
the tangents are a little more linear, and so it's
yeah,
way easier to remember how to get back to what you were saying.
yeah. Because I talked about Dragon Ball Legends. Talked about all the anime that I had watched. Um, we talked about music and stuff in the beginning.
Yeah,
You
actually,
got to talk
that
about
was a
all.
great discussion.
Yeah, it was. You got to talk about all the stuff you had watched.
We get to talk about Redacted.
I don't know why that would sent me. Um,
and
yeah,
and and
redacted.
part of the reason I told you was because at no point was this against you.
No.
It was always squarely against Quincy. I don't know
I
why. I don't know how.
I don't know how. This is a new. I'm liking this new Gotcha gang.
Season 2,
Everything's
baby.
so different.
Season 2 is so
It's
different.
so different. I love it.
We've got plot twists we're hinting at future episodes because technically the future episode's already been made. You just don't know it yet.
You just don't know it yet. Oh no. Gee,
Oh,
that's what this title has to be. This episode,
what? You
season
just don't
2.
know it yet?
No, season 2,
Oh yeah.
episode 26 or 27,
No,
whatever episode
season
we're
2,
on.
episode 1.
Oh, we're starting over at one. Derek, we haven't even hit 30 episodes.
We could put colon episode. We could put parentheses episode, whatever it is.
Oh, this guy wants to make it extra complicated. I just thought he was gonna run on numbers of episodes until forever.
We can. I mean, we could do it either way. I'm not that
Yeah.
like married.
Invested
to
in
the idea.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just season 5 is just episode 367.
No, based on this, season 5 is gonna be like episode 70.
We're in the 20s right now. Season 5, if we keep 20 something episodes per, we'd be in episode 100 on season.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, so episode 27 is the beginning of season 2. We'll just make proper playlists once the seasons
Wait.
start.
This is only episode 20?
This is episode 27,
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't,
Yeah, double check
I'm
that
not
shit.
the one that keeps track of these things. Usually I ask you what episode we're on, and
I
usually you're
haven't
correct.
edited in a few episodes, so that's how I remember.
Wow. This guy loses track of things. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This one that we're doing would be episode 27.
Okay.
The bit happens on 28.
I've been also. I'm not known for holding shit in.
He's
So,
not. That's why when he was like, you can't let it slip. In my head, I'm like, I'm more worried about you letting it slip. But okay.
I've been holding it in all week.
Oh, you have. I'm proud of you. Look at you, growing. Look at you.
Season 2, it's a whole new Derek, baby.
Season 2, Derek is different. He's doing bits. He's holding things in. I like it. Picasso.
Picasso. I had a moment today where I was literally with somebody and we got locked into a room because somebody put a pallet there and
Dang.
they got a pallet got put in front of the door and they
Yeah.
started to have a mini panic attack and I literally just laid on the ground and I went, "This is great, Picasso." I'm like, I don't know, maybe I was having my own little mini panic attack, but at the same time I was just like, this could not get any worse.
I lied on the floor. This is great, Picasso. Oh boy,
Anyway,
this guy, he's thoroughly been corrupted.
I'm absolute. This is the demon arc. I've been possessed.
He's in his villain era. He's possessed. No,
My eyes. Go
it's
black.
over. Oh no,
It's Jover.
it's Jover. It's Go Jover.
Anyway, adios, everybody.
See you later, everybody.
You gotta say this. Say the thing.
Oh, I don't want to say the
You
thing.
know what? It's season 2. We don't have to say the thing in season 2. Never
You're
mind.
right.
It's a
You're
whole
right.
new season, baby.
It's a whole new season, baby.
I love season 2.
Me too.